Hey everyone, welcome back to another daily creative challenge. I'm Jesus Ramirez. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Let me pull up the chat because I had it up and now I don't see you guys. There you are. Hey everybody, how's everyone doing today? Happy to see everyone here joining me at the stream. I see Sam, Marilyn, Claudia, Kroll, Ariana, Mabine, Camilo, Mueller, Sam, thank you so much for being here with me today on this second daily creative challenge. We're going to be doing a daily creative challenge. We for 9 days. We started yesterday and will end on September 13th. So if you're joining me today for the first time, make sure that you come into the behance.net slash challenge slash Photoshop page. And from this page, you can click on this big blue button to take the challenge with me. Also, for most of the streams, we're going to have a file that you can download to get you started. So for today's stream, we're going to work on a photo. We're going to retouch a photo, and you can click on this Get Started button to open a Dropbox link that'll get you access to this photo. Just a quick shout out, this photo came from unsplash.com. And the photographer was Nicole Jerry, so this is the photo that we're going to be using. Just wanted to give her a quick shout out since we will be using her photo. But anyway, you can go into the behance.net slash challenge slash Photoshop page and click on Get Started on this one here. Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. That's today, obviously. Also, make sure that you scroll down and click on Chat with the community, or you go up to the link right up above my head, this one here. I'll duck down so you can see it. That link will get you to the Discord page, which is this one here, and you can click on current challenge to submit the challenge that we are working on during these 9 challenges. And you can see that people have already been submitting the painting effect challenge. So what this is a community where myself and the other Adobe mentors such as Sam, Tim, Claudia can help you respond any questions, comments, or concerns that you may have. If there's something that I show in the stream and you don't understand, you can ask it here. If you work on a project, you can share it with us here under current challenge. There's also the past challenges tab, so you can see the previous challenges that I've done and other people have done, like Kathleen Martin, and you'll see them here. Voodoo Val has also done some Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges, so you'll see some of the work that people have done based on those challenges there. You can also ask questions, tips and tricks, career advice, a whole bunch of stuff. So check out the Discord page. Now that I'm looking at the chat, I see that we have people just saying hello, a whole bunch more people. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with me this morning. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm in San Ramon, California. Let me know where you guys are at. We usually have a pretty mixed group of people. And you know what? I just realized that I forgot to click on the working on my button here to switch over to the previous screen. So everything I said about the Discord page, you guys didn't see. You only saw that thing above my head. So I'll quickly mention what I was talking about. So this is the page here, and you have the current challenge tab right here, and that's where you will see the challenge. The past challenge that Kathleen and Voodoo Val have done are here. I've done some previous ones as well, so you'll see some of the work that people have done based on those challenges here. And these are the mentors I was talking about. So whoopsie daisy, sorry for not clicking on that button to switch screens. I need to hire like an assistant that's here just pushing that button for me so that I don't forget. But yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to look at the chat one more time and just see where people are commenting from. We got people from, let's see here, St. Petersburg, Russia, Oleg. We got Cheryl from Florida, Bobby from Southern Oregon, Jennifer from Arizona, Sean from Germany, Gerard from New York, Valentine from New Orleans. I was just there for the very first time not long ago. Lovely city, good food. We got Carla from Brazil, and we have people from the UK, Henry, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Thank you so much for joining me, guys. It's really cool to see people from all these cool places. Colby, San Francisco, California. Oh, Susan from Pleasanton, California. I could walk to Pleasanton. That's how close Pleasanton, California is to me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being with me here today. One more time, I just want to mention that if you want to, you can download the file to follow along with me, the Retouch a Photograph link right here where it says get started. You can click on that and you can find that on behance.net/challenge/Photoshop get started. You can use any file that you like, of course, but if you want to follow with my photo, learn the techniques, and then apply them to a photo, then that's probably the best way to do it. So download that file first, and don't forget to click on the take the challenge button, this big blue button here. So click on that if you want to follow all the 9 challenges with me. Also, if you weren't here yesterday, you can go back and watch the recording for the mixer brush tutorial, or stream rather, not a tutorial. I guess it is a tutorial. But what I did there is I showed you guys how to use the mixer brush to recreate an old oil painting effect. So you can take a photo and turn it into a painting. So that's what we did yesterday, and you can go watch the video if you want to learn how to do that. But with today's stream, I'm going to be working with this image here, which is the image I referenced earlier from Unsplash. And what I'm going to do is just start with this file, give everybody a moment to open up this file into the computer. And the very first step is going to be actually really simple. I just want to add some contrast to the photo. And just to give you just a little bit of a background of what we're going to do, we're just going to apply some painting effects to this image to enhance it. You don't have to apply all these effects to your photo that we're going to apply to this photo, but you may apply 1 effect, 2 effects, or a combination of the 3 effects that I'm going to show you so that you can enhance a portrait. So we have this portrait, and the very first step is to just give it a little bit more contrast so that it pops. So one of the easiest ways of adding contrast to an image is just by creating an adjustment layer, and you can create a curves adjustment layer. You can create the adjustment layer, and the adjustment layer simply allows you to make an adjustment non-destructively, which means that you can disable it or enable it or delete it and forget about it, and you don't destroy your image. So working non-destructively, and that's how I like to work. So I have my curves adjustment layer, and I'm just going to use a preset. Right here we have a whole bunch of presets, and the one that I'm going to use for this image is the strong contrast preset. And there it is. That's all it is. We're just creating what's known as an S curve. You see this curve here? It kind of looks like an S. An S curve creates contrast in an image. It makes the brighter pixels brighter and the darker pixels darker, thus creating the contrast. You can click on the eye icon to see the before and the after, and that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm going to show you a technique. You can use your mouse if you like. So I have my mouse, and I also have a Wacom tablet. So you can use either or. But what I'm going to do is use a technique that photographers and retouchers use called dodging and burning, and I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing it. It really doesn't matter which way you use. I just want you to have some flexibility. One of the techniques that I'm going to show you gives you a lot more control when dodging and burning. So I'll show you the basic one first, and then I'll show you the more advanced technique. And the way the technique works is very simple. You can create a new layer by clicking on a new layer icon, and then you can fill with 50% gray. And that's really easy to do. All you need to do is hit the Shift key and the backspace key on Windows, which is the Shift and Delete key on the Mac, and it brings up the fill dialog. If you don't like keyboard shortcuts, no worries. You can go into Edit and Fill. It brings it up. From here under Contents, just make sure that you select 50% gray and press OK, and that will fill the layer with 50% gray. If you don't know what 50% gray is, it's just simply the gray between white and black. You see how the B here for brightness has a percentage. 0% is black, 100% is white. So 50% is the gray right in the middle. So that's what we're filling with, just gray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use both the dodge tool to brighten pixels. See how I'm just brightening those pixels? And the burn tool to darken pixels. See that? See how I'm darkening pixels? Make sure that midtones is set on range for both the dodge and burn tool. So I'm gonna make some pixels brighter and some pixels darker. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just gonna undo that. and I'm gonna change the blending mode of the layer to soft light. Soft light makes 50% gray pixels invisible. Anything darker will apply a darkening effect to an image. Anything brighter will apply a brightening effect to the image. So there it is. The image, the layer, the dodge and burn layer shows nothing because we haven't darkened anything or brightened anything. And what we want to do with this layer is simply make shape the photo, shape her face, shape her body, so that we can give it more definition. So for example, in this case, I would want more light coming from the left. So what I could do, and I'm using my mouse right now, is I could bring the exposure fairly low so I can build up the effect. So I can just start painting and building up the effect like so. And I'm just going fairly quickly here. Obviously, take your time on your own image. So if I click on the eye icon, you can see that I'm already darkening the image. I prefer for a job like this to use my Wacom tablet, so I will use that. Any tablet will work. It doesn't have to be a Wacom tablet. I prefer a Wacom tablet. I use a medium Intuos Pro tablet. And I'm going to switch over to the Dodge tool, and now I'm just going to start brightening this side of her face, right? And obviously I want to take more time. So what I'm really doing here is just shaping her body, shaping her hands, shaping her face by applying shadows and highlights. And notice just by doing that very, very quickly, I completely changed the lighting of the scene, or at least of her face and her body. See that? See how it just completely switches the lighting? And this could be a really powerful technique when you're compositing, when you're retouching photos like we are now. Is just super, super handy. And then you can just bring down the opacity accordingly and just fine tune it till you get it to a level that you're happy with before and after. So that's what dodging and burning is. So I encourage you to try this technique on your photos. Try to reshape the lighting of a scene, reshape somebody's face. In some cases, you can even give the illusion that somebody has a narrower or wider nose just by changing how the light is applied to their face. So you can really apply this technique to reshape people's faces. In some ways, it's a lot like applying makeup, like a makeup artist would do to a person to redefine their face. It's a similar idea, just by applying highlights and shadows to faces, to body parts, to entire bodies, even buildings or anything that you want. The point is that you're using highlights and shadows to reshape the scene, the person, the object, whatever it may be. So that's the easy, or I don't want to call it the easy way. That's just the basic way of doing it. There's a more advanced way. It offers several advantages, but it does take a little longer to set up. So you'll decide which one you will use in your case. So I'm just going to disable this layer for now. And I can create a curves adjustment layer. And I'm just going to click and drag from the middle, and then change the blending mode to luminosity. And the reason that I'm changing the blending mode to luminosity is because of this. When you apply an adjustment, I'll make it an extreme adjustment. See how I just made this extreme adjustment? I made the image darker, which is what I want, but I also desaturated the image. Increased the saturation of the image. So when you make an adjustment, you increase the saturation of the image with the curves adjustment layer. And sometimes you don't want to do that. Sometimes you just want to adjust the luminosity without affecting saturation. And that's what I want to do in this case. I want to make the image darker without making it more saturated. So to avoid the saturation, I'm just going to change the blending mode to luminosity. So see the difference? Luminosity, normal. See that? Once again, normal, luminosity, normal, luminosity. So we're just increasing or decreasing the luminance values, making everything darker without saturating the image. And that's what I want. So I want it right about there, just darkening the image a little bit. And I can just call this burn, not dodge, burn. And I can create a new, actually before I do that, I'll just click on the layer mask icon and click on invert from the properties panel, or you can press Control-I, Command-I on the Mac to invert. So now I have a black layer mask which hides the contents of that layer. Then I can do the same thing, but this time, you probably guessed it, we're gonna do the dodge layer. Click and drag up and change the blending mode to luminosity, and I'll call it dodge. and I can make that layer mask black. This time I'll use the keyboard shortcut, Control I, Command I on the Mac to invert. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna paint with white on the layer mask to reveal the effect. So here I am with a brush. I'm using the left and right bracket keys on the keyboard to resize the brush. And I'm just gonna quickly paint it. Obviously this is very, very strong, but that's okay. This is the power of this technique, that we could paint and we have flexibility on the strength of the dodging and burning. And obviously I'm going fairly quickly here. This is just for the demo. But notice that I'm gonna put them into a group. So I'm gonna hold Shift, click on both, and press Control G, Command G on the Mac, and you can see that I've added that effect, right? But the advantage of this technique is that I can come back into each individual layer and I can now control exactly how dark or how bright those layers are. See that? So that's the power of using this technique, that once you have defined the areas that you want to affect with the layer mask, you can completely fine tune the darkness or brightness by using the controls in the properties panel. So that's the one big advantage that this technique gives you over just simply painting on a 50% gray layer. It's up to you which one you use, but I just wanted to give you two options so that you have some flexibility when editing your photos. So in terms of which one looks better in this case, which one did I do a better job, I don't know, that's subjective. I kind of like the second one better, even though I went a little faster, maybe because I can fine tune it and it doesn't look as extreme. But anyway, you let me know which one you think works better. Let's see, any questions in the comments? No questions in the comments, just everybody saying hello. So hi everybody. Valentine wrote, finally how to do digital dodge and burning. Thanks, you're welcome. But anyway, let's continue with the next technique. And the next technique that I want to show you guys is, if you're ever working on an image that has highlights like this one, usually you'll see things like that with neon signs and things of that nature, but there's like a bright light behind something. What I recommend doing is changing the blending mode to vivid light on a blank layer like this one, and then selecting a color. The color really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna select blue for now, and I'm just gonna paint with blue on that layer. And I'm not really painting, there you go. I'm gonna paint with blue on that layer. And actually I think it might have been hard light, sorry about that. Actually not even hard light, I thought it was vivid light. Why isn't my blending mode working? See this issue, oh I'm sorry, it should have been a color dodge or linear dodge, sorry about that. So we go to color dodge, and I can use the fill layer to adjust the intensity, but now I have color light. So I can add blue, and I can add this magenta color, and it's okay, I'm getting on her face, it's all right. I'll fix that later. And then maybe green, now I'm applying a green effect to that. And then maybe yellow over here, that might be a little strong. Don't worry about it, we'll fix that later. If you want to fix it right after you paint, you can't. You can. You can go into edit, fade, and then fade it. But I prefer to just fix it later. So I'll fix it later. And then I'll select a different color, like maybe, which one haven't we used? I think we used pretty much all the major colors, maybe like an orange color we haven't used. So I'll just add that here to this side. So I've added this lighting effect, and all I really need to do now is just bring down the opacity and control it accordingly. You could also try different blending modes if you like. The blending modes that probably would work best in this case are any of the blending modes in the lighten category, because they're applied to the lighter pixels. Maybe some of the blending modes in the contrast category could work as well. In this case, actually, see now that I painted more, vivid light actually looks pretty good. So I'll keep it, even though that's the one that I was like, wait, it's not working. It actually works good in this case. So see, sometimes you just don't know what you're doing, and you just have to go back to your original idea. But anyway, I'm reading the comments, and I just read that Robin wrote that they like the second one because they like the advantage of fine-tuning. Yes, that's what I like too. When it comes to Photoshop, hopefully not the real world, I'm a control freak, so I do like a lot of control when editing my photos and doing any type of work. But anyway, so as you can see, I've added these lights to the image, and I'm using fill as opposed to opacity. Vivid light gives you better results when you use fill compared to opacity. I have a video on my YouTube channel on basically how all the blending modes work, and there's 8 blending modes that give you results when you compare fill to opacity. So most of them give you the same results. In some cases, the fill gives you different results, and this is one of those cases. But anyway, so here's the outcome. You can decide to continue painting with different colors and then maybe get some of the light on your model. That's totally up to you. It really, really, really depends on how you want to work. Remember that you can always use a layer mask, and you can paint away with black, so just to give a more subtle effect. See that? And we don't have too much time, but there's one more thing I want to show you. I think this is super cool. I see a lot of people selling bokeh overlays online. Basically just, like the bokeh look, the circular, blurry images that you see that you can overlay on top of an image, and you change the blending mode, and now you have the bokeh effect, those bright circles around a person. Like, they sell them online. Some of them are pretty cool. I'm not going to say that they're not, but they're actually really, really easy to make. And you can make one just by using any image. I'm just going to drag this image here. The only thing that you have to worry about is that you select an image that is dark, that doesn't have a lot of bright areas. This photo actually does have a lot of bright areas with the woman standing here in the background, but I'm only going to focus on basically the tools that are here. And actually, this is not the image that I wanted to use. I thought I already had a licensed version of this photo. I guess I don't. I might as well show you guys how to license it. So when you want to use an image like that and you want to remove the watermark, you do have to license the image. So I'll right click on it and select license image. And then a window should come up that tells me, do you want to use however licenses you have? I'll say okay or confirm. And that licenses the image, so it removes the watermark. Now I have access to the full resolution version of the photo. So I decided to do that in this case, but you can use any photo, something off your phone. It really doesn't matter as long as it's dark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rasterize the layer, and I'm just going to cut off this part here because I'm mainly worried just about these dark areas with those highlights, right? So that's all I need. And then I'm just going to drag it in here like so. Then I'm going to go into Filter, Blur Gallery, Field Blur, and I'm just going to blur the image. And then under effects, I can increase the light bokeh. You can see I'm starting to get that bokeh effect, and I can adjust the blur to adjust the bokeh effect, right? So maybe something like that. I can increase the range. Totally up to you how strong you want your bokeh to be. I'll press OK when I'm done. And that's my bokeh effect. Now, we're going to use a blending mode to keep the bright pixels, which is the bokeh, and hide the background. So we're going to make hide the background by making it dark, basically. So we're going to make the background black, or as close as black as possible. So I'm going to go into Image, Adjustment, Levels, and I'm just going to click on the black point here, which turns the darker pixels darker. And I'm going to push it as far as I can so they turn black, and I still keep my bokeh effect. Then I can go into the screen blending mode, and there it is. I can, of course, rotate it so that it matches my image better. Maybe something like that. Maybe increase the size. Something like that. And I can apply a layer mask. And I'm just going to paint over like the ones that are really, really bright so they don't distract too much from the image. But there's my bokeh effect. And that is just an easy way of applying bokeh to an image. Just creates that blurry, surreal effect, if you will. And those are the things I wanted to show you in this creative challenge. It's time for me to get going. I appreciate everyone for being here with me. Don't go just yet. We have another streamer coming up. Hank Washington will be here doing an illustration day. So stick around. Don't go. Just in a few more minutes, he'll be here. I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for being here with me today. Thank you, Robin. She said, well, you're welcome. She said, thank you for showing us that. You're welcome. Carrie, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Michaela, Morel, Bobby, Mueller, Gerard, Patty, thank you so much for being with me today. We'll be back again tomorrow where I'm going to be showing you how to mask out hair. So if you are interested in learning on how to mask out hair in Photoshop, that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to use a technique that involves creating brushes so that you can get better selections or to paint in hair in situations where it's too difficult to select. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. So thank you so much for being with me here today. Don't forget to check out the Discord page and leave your the work that you do there. So let me just show you really quickly right here. Just go into current challenges and show me the work that you do using today's challenge and all the other challenges that we'll be working on with together. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and stick around for Hank Washington, where he's gonna do a stream on illustration. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Bye.